Here's everything you need to get your student loans forgiven. It's actually a lot simpler than you think it is. There's really only two big kinds of forgiveness that exist. There's the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, or PSLF. That program allows you to get your loans forgiven tax-free after working 10 years at a not-for-profit or government employer while paying on an income-driven repayment plan. The other kind of loan forgiveness that's available is taxable loan forgiveness, or IDR forgiveness. This is when you're paying based off of one of the income-driven plans for 20 to 25 years. At the end of that period, you have to pay income taxes on your forgiven student loan balance. This latter kind of forgiveness is something that you don't have to apply for, while the PSLF program is something that you do have to apply for. What forms do you need for both of these programs? For PSLF, you need two forms. The first is the income-driven certification form. You need to send this in every single year to your loan servicer whenever they tell you to and certify your income. Otherwise, your payment will revert to the standard 10-year plan, which is going to be dramatically higher than your income-driven repayment probably will be. So you fill this out, you have to give them information about your marital status, your income, you have to allow them access for tax returns in most cases, and this is what keeps your payment low. You have to do this, otherwise you could potentially be on a program that doesn't qualify for PSLF forgiveness. So very, very important to fill this form out. The next form for PSLF is the Employer Certification Form, or the ECF. The Employer Certification Form needs to be filled out as soon as you get a job at a not-for-profit or government employer full-time. You send this in, and this will forcibly move your loans from your loan servicer where you're already at to Fed Loan Servicing. This is the servicer that's contracted with the government to do the PSLF program. So once this transfer happens, you will get signed up for an income-driven repayment program, and then you want to resubmit this employer certification form, or ECF, once a year at the same time that you certify your income. This will build the paper trail that's needed so that you don't fall into that huge group of people that applied after not submitting any forms for 10 years and just hope that their loans would be forgiven without any paper trail. That is part of what's causing the problems right now, is people do not submit this ECF form annually, and you should. The difference between PSLF and taxable or IDR forgiveness is the IDR forgiveness is when you pay under a program like Pay-As-You-Earn or Revised Pay-As-You-Earn or income-based repayment. And instead of a 10-year period, it's 20 or 25 years depending on the plan and what kind of degree you earned. Now, this kind of forgiveness is accessible without an application, unlike PSLF. It's accessible because the government knows how many monthly payments that you've made under these different programs, and they're counting that in something called the National Student Loan Database. Once you've hit this magic number of monthly payments under each plan, the loan is automatically forgiven. There's nothing to apply for. Of course, you could have to pay income taxes on that forgiven balance, and I would expect a lot of legislative effort in the future to change that because of how crazy that really is in terms of actually being able to collect that amount of money in taxes. It's very unlikely, even though that's what the rule is. So the income-driven repayment form, or the IDR certification form, is the only form that you need. The other thing that you need to get loan forgiveness in some cases is studentloans.gov, the website. If you log into this website, it will allow you to consolidate your student loans. In some cases, you consolidate because you have an ineligible loan for loan forgiveness, like a loan from the Department of Health. Example of that is health profession student loans. Usually these are serviced by ECSI, or FFEL loans that were issued from before 2010, or Perkins loans. A lot of these loans can be consolidated and made eligible for loan forgiveness when they previously were not. Another thing to consider is you can consolidate your student loans into one loan, which is highly recommended if you have never made any payments yet that you would wipe away by creating a brand new loan and consolidating. Consolidating your student loan just makes it far easier to manage and signals to the loan servicer that you do intend likely to go for student loan forgiveness. When you consolidate, we recommend that you send your loan to Fed Loan Servicing if you're doing the PSLF program, or Great Lakes Servicing if you're doing taxable or IDR forgiveness over 20 to 25 years, based on their better customer service track record, according to information that we have internally and externally.
The form you're going to have to get used to filling out every year is the income-driven repayment plan request. So it's the second thing that shows up in Google, it looks like, and we can see that the expiration date's far into the future, so this way you know that you're looking at the right one. You go down here, you'll have to enter all of your information. You're going to have to say what plan that you want to be signed up for. And I do recommend that people not check this box that says, I want the one with the lowest monthly payment. Sometimes that can put you on one that you did not intend to be put on. So you can be put on a specific one that you request by checking this box. How many children do you have? And they'll ask you information about your marital status. And this is a form that has to be filled out every single year, and you only have to think about it once a year. So think about this kind of like your taxes. Now, the next kind of form that you're going to want to look into is something called the ECF form. You just type in PSLF ECF in Google, and you'll see this PDF, and you just click on it. This is the form that you need to certify every single year if you plan on getting your loans forgiven tax-free with the not-for-profit or government employer forgiveness program that is most popular in America, which is this PSLF program. You need to fill this out once a year. You're going to have to get your employer's signature. You're going to have to fill out information about your employer. And one of the top reasons this form gets denied is simply because it's not filled out completely. It's that simple. So make sure you fill this out once a year so that you build a wonderful paper trail of your credit towards loan forgiveness. The last website that you need is right here, studentloans.gov. All you need to do is log in, and it will allow you to fill in your FSA ID and your password, and if you don't remember that, you can reset that, and that is the thing that allows you to consolidate your student loans. So remember the look of those two forms in this website. It is the primary way that you do things with your federal student loans. So remember that. This is how you get your student loans forgiven, is to be familiar with these resources.
When you're thinking about what you need to get loan forgiveness, perhaps the biggest thing you need of all is resilience. You have to tune out the noise, you have to tune out the misleading headlines, and you have to stay consistent and stick with your plan. And if you don't have a plan, that's what we do professionally. StudentLoanPlanner.com/help for more information. Thanks so much, and share your questions about student loan forgiveness in the comments below.